Well, I've found a little time to do some more work on the Raleigh Police Model. This big old bike. Most of you watching will know this bike because it's my most recent project. I was meant to be doing, well, had intended to be rebuilding the Humber's clutch and brake master cylinders today, but it's not the sort of weather to be doing that now, so I've decided to do a bit more on the bike instead. I'm just sort of picking up where I left off with the videos. So I'd cleaned up the rear wheel, that come up well. I've done the rim, that's nice and smooth now, as good as it's going to get. There's many miles of useful life left in that. The hub come up really well. A lot of these, the chrome goes on them and they become unsightly with rust, but that one has come up very well. I do have a replacement sprocket, I'll get around to that shortly. But the bottom bracket, the problem was, well, one of the problems is the adjustable cup was seems to be protruding further than it should be. Now, one chap did leave a comment and suggested that the dust excluder, that steel sleeve inside there, which I've now removed, he said that possibility is that hadn't been pushed home, thus causing the adjustable cup not to screw in fully. I had actually noticed that myself when I was reviewing the footage, but thank you to that gentleman anyway who mentioned it. For today, I did remove it, as you can see, and it's pretty nasty what's been hiding underneath it. And there's all that, but it's pretty grim in there. So obviously the sleeve has been doing its job in keeping this out of the way of the bearings, but I will be removing all of that. I also removed the oiler as well. They're a push fit, so that was quite easy to get out. Not as easy as the screw-in ones, but still quite a simple job. And I'd painted this up, rust treated it and painted it with Hammerite, but I've noticed, because I was trying to remove a bristle from the paint, it's flaming, it's not taken to the finish, so that's a bit of a disappointment. Well, it is a disappointment really. I'll have to rub that down again with fine grade paper and maybe spray it instead, but it's obviously, the Hammerite has obviously reacted with the original finish. Not a big worry really, it's just more time that's going to have to be spent on it. But you don't know until you actually apply these things, do you? I didn't know it was going to do that. On the plus side, what is left of the original paint, and there is a fair good bit left, it does promise to buff up pretty well. The beauty of well, this is that one I got from Bewley. I bought it for the kickstand alone and stainless rims. That's the £5 Bewley parts bike. So I've been stripping it of all its useful spares, whatever I can, and I've just now removed the chain ring and the axle there. Now I had intended to remove this. This is the fixed cup on the chain wheel side of the bike, i.e. the right hand side. And you should never touch these really. They're called fixed for a reason. You never need to do anything with them. But as this is going to the scrap heap very shortly, I thought, well, I might as well try and remove it just as a spur. But you can't. I don't know what they're fixed in with, but didn't want to budge. And there seemed to be a cast material, which is quite brittle. So a chunk of it come off, so I've just left that. They're not meant to be removed. Ordinarily, I should never need one, a spare one, so I've just left that. Some things though it did yield, because as you can see here is the dust shield that I've removed from the bottom brackets. This one comes from that parts bike, and it just wants a wipe over. This one comes from the police model, and it's slightly skew width, ever so slightly, so that could have been the problem. I did notice on that Spurs bike that this had been pushed in all the way, so I'm going to clean that up and use that. Regarding the oilers for the bottom bracket, which is a nice feature because it means you can apply oil to them for long life. Come on, camera. This is the one I removed from the police model here. They're all these pushing types of this edge. Kingfisher leads. So I've took that out and cleaned it up, but I removed the one from the Spurs bike as well, and as I cleaned that up, it became all shiny, and it's got a brass cap, which is nicer than the cheaper steel example there, you see. So I think what I'll do is I'll fit the brass one to the police bike, just as a nice touch there. Brass, of course, being non-ferrous, because the trouble you get with these steel ones is that they start pitting and rusting, you see. So the sorry about the autofocus, I really have no control over it. What was I saying? Yeah, it's just the stamping's much better defined on the brass example, and it's got a steel body, of course, but quite easy to remove from the bike. I just had to apply a drift with great care and tap it up and out of the bottom bracket. So I'm going to finish cleaning this up, remove all that nasty stuff, and start reassembling it. I want to get this all back in place today, the axle and bottom bracket, so that's what I'm going to do. There. All you do to replace those is just carefully tap it in with the wooden handle of the hammer, with the weight at the top, of course. Just with the wooden handle, tap it down into the bottom bracket, because they're only a push fit, and of course you don't want to damage anything. And make sure you've got it the correct way around, of course, like that, because the chain wheel will be on that side, so you need to be able to open it from this side so you can get the spout of the oil can in, which I'll be doing once all this is back together. So that's been cleaned out. It's actually paint, a lot of it, that's just pooled there, but I've ran a degreaser through it, yeah, they painted, obviously when they were spraying the frames, paint got on the inside there, which is a good thing, and a lot of it just seems to have pooled there at the bottom. So I can start building it up again now. Well, these are the bearings that I removed, and I had intended to reuse them, dependent on the condition, because quite often they are good enough to reuse. You can tell when you clean them up, of course, but you see that there's a particularly bad one. Come here. This is, you've just got to be extra careful when you're handling these for obvious reasons, because they like to go walk about. Here, that's tarnishing. It's done for, is that one? It's had it. So I'm going to scrap these. There might be the odd one or two that are okay, but I'll keep them as spares. But for anything like that, for the cost of a new bag of ball bearings, we're talking a matter of pence. So it's worth keeping a few bags in stock. And this will mean I've used up my last bag, so I'll have to order some more of them. I also need to count them as well, to make sure the right number was there. Well, I've got it in a book anyway, how many there should be fitted, so I'll have to have a look. Well, out of that little lot, there were only 4 ball bearings suitable for further use, so I've scrapped the others and I've put 4 aside for spare parts for when I do any other bikes, and only the odd one or two is found to be defective in those. I guess I must order a couple of more bags of them. Anyway, I'm now ready to refit this dust shield, which is a very good idea by Raleigh. It must significantly lengthen the life of the bottom bracket by keeping all those nasties out. So I've given it a light coat of grease. Just beware that cutout there has to correspond with the oil port, and I'm just going to tap it in just carefully. There it goes. So I'll stop there and I'll use the drift to very carefully push it home. Right, so these are the fresh ball bearings. I'm just gonna screw that in now, and then that's that done until I've got the cranks on again. But that's the grease I use, just ordinary LM grease. I have no doubt there is special cycle grease for the purpose, probably sold at great cost in a tiny tube. But for these old bikes, certainly a medium grease, lithium grease like that is ideal. It works just as well. Right, I'm losing the light now, so this will be the last job just for today. Obviously I'll continue in this video, but for today this is what I wanted to achieve. Still though, it's still protruding. Now it's gonna obviously need, I'm not locking it off yet, it's going to need further adjustment when the cranks are back on, but as an indication it just serves to show that it's still protruding quite far. Now I think I've realised what the cause of this is. I think it's had a replacement axle, because all the Raleigh parts are stamped Raleigh Industries like so. This is from that scrapper. This won't fit this bike, it's miles too short, you see. Miles too short. So it looks to me that this unbranded axle is the cause of this not screwing in as far as I'd like it to. It doesn't really matter, it just catches the eye, that's all. But I would like ultimately to get the correct part. But it'll do for now, it's functional. So the next job, well, what shall I do next? I do need to finish, I'll have to go over this again. That needs to be done paint wise again before I reassemble the bike. I've got to fit that sprocket, and I'm going to remove the dyno hub to access the adjustable cone and give that a good grease up, because I flushed it through. I flushed the hub through with a load of solvent degreaser, so it would benefit from some grease. Another little detail, just to improve the appearance of the bike, is replacing the headlamp lens. A lot of these, like this one, go opaque over the years, decades. I think a lot of it is due to bad storage, as happened to many of these bikes. They were put in outbuildings where conditions weren't great, and I think it's ultraviolet light that does that. There's no way to revive them, not that I've found anyway, and this isn't actually even the worst I've seen. Some of them go completely opaque and yellow, and that's something that really makes the bike look ancient, really. So these, they're very hard to find now, good ones, good transparent ones. They were, of course, crystal clear originally, but find one I did. Nice original box, a bit tatty, but the colours are all there. Precision tested spare parts, Raleigh Industries, and this is a maroon headlamp, so that would have been for the Rudge badged models. My voice is a bit off today because I've got some seasonal sort of lurgy or something that's doing the rounds, but you can see already how better that is compared to the one that's on it. The reflector's gone, unfortunately, and you can't polish these because it'll take the silvering off, so you must never polish them or even touch them inside, because it will leave fingerprints, as has happened here, which you then cannot remove. It's the same with car headlamp reflectors, just leave them alone. I do have a couple of spurs, however, which I will fit. I'll get that on there, and that'll improve it tenfold. I've replaced the reflector as well with a spare one I had that's much better. This one is quite tarnished. There's no bringing that back to mint condition at all. It's just the silvering that's tarnished badly on it. Unfortunately, what I will do is carefully remove this sticker that gives the bulb ratings and transfer it over to that, because this was the reflector from this came from an earlier design of headlamp with the glass lens. So I don't know where the sticker had gone from that, but it needs the correct one just because. And voila, it's done. It looks infinitely better, so very happy with the result there. That'll give a good bright light, well, within the limitations of the system. So I think I'm gonna leave it there for this one. I've still got plenty to do, including sorting out the rest of the wiring as well, but that's gonna be one of the last jobs. And I want to get the dry battery unit working as well, which shouldn't be too difficult because it's all complete except the rubber weather cap. But yeah, it's slowly getting there. Not a great deal left to do now before it's roadworthy again.